Mate, seriously, it's good to have you here. Look, you've got 2 games in New Zealand. You've had one in Dunedin, and your second one's in Wellington against the Hurricanes this weekend, but you've spent 2 weeks here in beautiful Queenstown.
Your hometown, Marshy.
It is.
Obviously fantastic being here. You know, obviously it's the one spot in New Zealand where you feel like you're abroad. You know, you could be stuck in Switzerland somewhere. So it's been really good. Obviously our first week didn't go according to plan. You know, obviously a pretty heavy defeat against the Highlanders. Look, as any rugby game, there was some good stuff, but probably not consistent enough for us.
What would be the highlight, you think, of your career to date?
Yeah, look, there's a lot, obviously. I think your first game, your first test match, I think it's always a special one. You know, I was at the World Cup 2003 against Georgia, you know, singing the national anthem.
Yeah.
Now, look, that stuff dreams are made of.
Yeah.
I mean, playing 100 Super Rugby games now recently, also nice on a different level, you know, it's personal level. 2004 World Player of the Year, I think that came quickly.
That's not bad.
That came quickly
Yeah.
for me, 21 years old.
Wow.
I think what stands out is the World Cup. You know, I think as we have a group of Springbok players that's been together for a long time, the core group of us, so say from 2004 onwards, you know, that was a special occasion.
From a Super Rugby perspective, how do you think it's changed in the time that you've been involved?
Yeah, I think it's changed a lot actually. I mean, when we started Super Rugby, it was a short competition. You know, it was 3 months, all done and dusted. So a bit of a sprint. Where now, you know, it's different. You know, it's a long competition. I think also what's made a big difference, especially in South Africa, is the high amount of turnover of players we have.
Yeah.
You know, we from 2010, this current Stormer squad, there's only 3 of us that was involved back in 2010. So it's completely different. I think it's getting younger and younger. You know, Super Rugby still stays an exciting game, and for me, still being part of it after 11 years is nice. I think it's a challenge for the top rugby players. You know, the top rugby players get pushed to the limit, and I think that's why it's such an exciting competition. I think it's one of the few competitions in the world, if a guy is a good Super Rugby player, I reckon it's pretty much good enough to become a good test match player.
You said you've got more time in Super Rugby. You'd like to have more time in the Springbok jersey, no doubt. You made your debut before the Springboks in 2003, before you made your Super Rugby debut. You know, what's your thoughts about the international team now?
Yeah, look, Marshy, that's a big carrot. All of us want to be playing for the Boks, especially this year with the World Cup coming on. You know, South Africa obviously got a lot of talent, you know, so I think for the national coach, Heineke, it's pretty much just to balance what he wants out of his loose forwards, is pretty much determine who's going to be there and be not. So, look, it's always nice to be back here, and you know, no one's hiding the fact that you want to go to the World Cup. So, obviously coming back into the Springbok mix is lovely. So for me, I'd love to play a few more test matches. In the 2003 quarterfinal, must have played against you, Marshy.
You did indeed. Was that one of the worst experiences in your life, having me sniping around the sides of rucks and causing all sorts of problems?
Yeah, I remember a lot of it actually. It didn't go too well for the Springboks, but it was good to play against you, at least at that stage. And 2 of the greatest scrum-offs was involved, halfbacks, you and Joost van der
Westhuizen, yeah, absolutely. Talk to us about your Japanese experience and what's the background behind it?
Oh, look, I think I was at the right stage in my career to maybe go look abroad. You know, obviously went through quite an ordeal being injured and being sick, and then made the comeback, and then was looking for something different, you know, looking for a new challenge, and Japan came across, and it was quite an attractive proposition going there for 6 months. You know, it's not permanent. It's something different, and then obviously coming back and still playing some Super Rugby. So, you know, I've still got an appetite to play Super Rugby. So I've got another year with the Stormers next year as well. So it's really nice to do a bit of both, you know, and just break up. You know, we break up my season a bit, you know, because I've been doing the same thing for a lot of years, and you know, I felt it was a good time for a change.
And you're in Tokyo, and you take your family there as well?
Whole family's over in Tokyo, look, coming from South Africa.
And 3-year-old and 1-year-old?
Yep, 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, the 2 boys.
Yep.
I think they're talking a little bit of Japanese. Obviously, my Japanese is not good enough to understand it. But yeah, look, it's coming from South Africa, rugby culture. You know, it's similar to New Zealand. You know, it's rugby mad. And going to Tokyo, Japanese culture, different style. It's probably like going from Africa to going to space. So that's 6 weeks there. The first 6 weeks there was eye-opening. But after that, you're starting to learn the culture and a little bit of the language. You can help yourself, and then we were fine.
you've had your fair share of injuries, and obviously you had your illness that, well, nearly killed you, didn't it? You know, that must have been a lot to go through, and credit to you, you're still sitting here, still a smile on your face, but talk to us a bit about that adversity you've had to go through as a player.
Yeah, Marshy, it hasn't been easy, eh? No. So, first game 2012, picked up a knee injury that took me out for the whole year, and then came back 2013. You obviously, when you have a long layoff, you know, working hard, pretty keen just to get back and play rugby, you know, what you know best. While doing pre-season, I felt my left leg was, you know, a bit numb, you know, some spasticity down there. Wasn't quite too sure what was up. Went for a back scan, and that's where it got scary, you know, just the unknown. So they discovered that I had a massive cyst that was basically, you know, pressing down on my spinal cord.
So it was in your back?
In my back, compressing 2/3 of my spinal cord, and that was causing my neural fallout down my left leg. And went in for operation, exploratory operation, to draw some fluid out of the cyst. And unfortunately for me, in that operation, you picked up an infection. And that infection spread straight into my spinal cord and you know, contaminated my spinal fluid. And next thing you know, you're healthy, you're 20 or 30 years old, 29 or 30 years old, and you know, you're pretty much on your way out. Third day, my missus phoned all my friends and said, listen, this is it. The big man's on his way out.
No way.
And luckily for me, you know, just got through that one. Scary, scary time, you know. So, you know, for an active guy, I was in hospital for 3 months, in bed for 4 months. And at that stage, rugby was out, Marshy. It was just, I had a young family at the
Secondary.
time.
Yeah.
For me, it was just, you know, obviously getting healthy and having quality of life back. And then, you know, always been a bit stubborn. As we started training, started running with the team, and the next moment, you know, you're on the verge of making a rugby comeback. Your goals is pretty much just getting back to play rugby for Western Province a couple of times will be good. Then it was playing one test match, just give me one more test match, and managed to do that in June of last year.
Well, we're going to see the return in test match rugby of Schalk Burger. What a wonderful journey back to this position.
And now we're getting a bit more greedy, and now we want to push for a starting spot in the box. But yeah, obviously what I went through, I've got one heck of a story to tell. And where I came from to where I'm now, I think, you know, if you sit back and reflect, that's one heck of a turnaround for me.